Hey there, in today's video I'm going to talk about this, the Attain Run Cap, and a little bit about mental health. I made a video about running caps a few weeks ago and Mike from Attain popped into the comments a little bit about the Attain Run Cap. So I bought it and in this video I'm going to review it. Even though I overanalyze everything, a review of a running cap won't take me too long. But I'm going to talk a little bit about the company Attain and a little bit about mental health. And as always, there's chapter markers down below so you can skip through to the bits you might be interested in. Attain is a not-for-profit company with 100% of the profits going towards suicide prevention. A great cause and a great cap. So what's the cap like? Well, in short, it's great. It's very breathable, it's very well made. There's a pop-up brim for people who like to go up hills or go around in that particular type of style. It's got a plastic clasp at the back and a pull through that tucks in. It's a really nice, very well made cap. I bought it for £17.50 sterling, down from £25, and it's very similar in lots of ways to this cap, which is I got from Sela. It was cost me £36 sterling. So the cap is great. And it's not expensive, but it has one major problem. Dare I say it, at the moment, it's not attainable. I had a great chat with Mike yesterday about the cap and about the company. So the cap is great and so is the company. So I was talking about how it happened and I guess what their plans for the future was. But it seems that essentially a bunch of guys were out running and wanted to get a sort of cap that encapsulated what they were doing, and realized there were minimum order numbers, which there are in anything you buy in this sort of way. And they decided that they'd group together, get some caps, and then sell off the surplus and donate the profit to charity. And that's what they started to do. And unsurprisingly to me, they took off. When I bought the cap a couple of weeks ago, there was lots of different colorways. I loved all of them, but a lot of them were sold out. And so I ended up with the purple colorway. Mike tells me that they're available in the Bay running shop in Herne Bay. I don't know if they have any left. My recollection of Herne Bay is my friend John used to sex prawns down in Herne Bay. Not a very enjoyable activity, but beautiful part of the world. I once sat in a restaurant there. I think it took me so long to get served. I think I'm still there. But beautiful part of the world, and maybe the Bay running shop have some of the originals left. But there's a whole new set coming, which I'll talk about. As of this morning, the new website is up. I'll put the URL here. But effectively, Mike is redesigning the website, redesigning the product, waiting for stock to come. And the company is really about more than just running fast. It's about the joy of running. I like the new identity, and I'll go through it. But effectively, I also like this with the older identity. And I liked the spidery typeface. To me, it sort of said fragility. And I kind of like that, but I also quite like the new one, which as far as I can see is based on Helvetica Bold Condensed. For those of you who like fonts, there's a whole film about Helvetica by Gary Hustwit. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Maybe you will too. But the Helvetica, the new font, what's really good, it's about, it's a bold typeface. And I think it's about togetherness. I think that's where the T's join. And I like that idea too. And in lots of ways, perhaps that's better. But I have to say, I quite like the fact that ultimately, I'm going to end up with both. Because I'm going to get some new caps as soon as the new range comes, which should be a couple of weeks, early New Year. I think there are 17 different types of caps coming. I think there's truckers caps. Don't wear those very often. I have one from Run Flagstaff I got earlier on in the year, making my little Forrest Gump homage, but I found it actually, it's very ventilated, and I found it really good in the summer in Ireland, which doesn't get very hot, so I can imagine how useful it is in really hot countries. There are various bucket hats, there's various regular hats, there's lots of different colorways coming. Mike was talking all about the colorways reflect running on the South Downs where he's based. And it's a really nice idea. I mean, I'm somebody who loves color, translating color to place and all that is something that really matters to me. But there's lots coming, so keep your eye out on the website when it goes live. Mike does all this as a hobby, and I think the growth of Attain is going to take some adjustments. I hope he keeps going with it. He landed I can't tell you about this, he told me about it, but I presume it's NDA'd. But anyway, a household name in the running industry, let's put it that way, contacted him and wanted him to make some branded caps for a Christmas event they're going to have. As soon as I can release it, I'll stick something on. I used to put these sort of little YouTube pictures, or I'll stick it on my Strava feed where I update stuff. So yeah, he's got I wasn't surprised at all. I thought, yeah, now here is something really big that someone has recognized. So yeah, hopefully all of that and the new website will be lead to bigger and greater things for the company. Mike spoke about the two types of people in the running world: those who like to go faster and faster, and there's a lot of brands dedicated to that, and then there's those who like to go for fun, and there's not so many brands dedicated to that, not so many YouTube channels. I know that's the way I go down, and with hopefully a little bit of fast, but anyway, but Mike is definitely going down that side, and that Attain is about that joy of running, that it's not just ultimate performance, but it could be ultimate enjoyment. And he reminded me of, the world is divided into two types of people: those who divide the world into two types of people, and those who don't. I'm definitely one of those guys going down the fun route. If it can be fast and fun, great, but I'll put the fun first. Yeah, I'm going to go as hard as I can in some races. And yeah, it's great to be in a race with Eliud Kipchoge, but I'm not passing him any day soon. So yeah, I'm always running against myself. Not you, not the people out there. I'm just running against me and getting the joy I can out of it. I'm reminded of a piece James Joyce wrote in Ulysses, which is, "Every life is many days. Day after day we walk through ourselves, meeting robbers, ghosts, giants, old men, young men, wives, widows, brothers in love, but always meeting ourselves." And I always think of that. I think I'm always meeting myself when I'm out running. It's me I'm running against, or running with, or talking to, or dreaming about. So yeah, the fun of running is what interests me. For some time now, I've been trying to turn James Joyce's life into a spreadsheet. So as you do, I'm taking every single month of his life from 1882 to 1941, and I'm trying to plot where he lived, what he wrote about, and what was published. And I'm doing all that because I'm interested in what he was writing about and place and all this sort of stuff. But in the last week, as I was reading through it, I was struck by how many people that he knew and had contact with had committed suicide. So it's nothing new, sadly. People have had a lot of mental health issues for a very long period of time. I'm convinced that your mental health and your physical health are intrinsically linked. In planning this video, I had all sorts of stats and statistics and published paper this and published paper that. But instead, I'm going to talk to you about the real proof: my mother. So my mother, who passed away happily and peacefully about 2 years ago at the age of 80, had a massive brain hemorrhage about 20 years previously. And it came as a huge shock to my brother, my sister, and myself. I was completely out of the blue. My mother got the last rites. She was in Beaumont Hospital here in Dublin for 7 months. And initially she could not move. She didn't know who anybody was. It was very traumatic. The staff worked unbelievably with my mother, and they started to try and give her some physio. As soon as she got some physio, stuff started to come back. She started to recognize a few people, a bit more physio, a bit more recognition. We could see it coming back. I remember when she would go down these parallel bars just to walk like 15 feet. It was incredibly tough for her. I remember her telling me that I was forcing her to do it and that my brother and my sister would not have forced her to do it. Anyway, that's what happened. And she went to rehab in Dunleary, another fantastic place in Dublin. And she got back, with the help of a huge amount of people, she got back to where she led an independent life, drove a car, and gave out to me. So it was great. But I was from then on completely convinced that my physical health and my mental health are linked. And so I train regularly to try and stay physically fit so that if something like that happens, I'm prepared. But the sheer joy of it, the sheer joy of being physically fit. And again, someone at my age, 59, you get a bit of baggage along the way, as people call it. I have a whole 747 load out there. So a couple of years ago, I started to get panic attacks. I decided to do something about it. I went to see a psychotherapist called Martin, who I still see. Thankfully, they haven't come back in years. And I have no idea whether it's because I see Martin every week, but I'm kind of afraid not to see Martin, just in case. But in the same way, and I tell everybody about it, so there's no secret about it, because I think that my mental fitness is something I've got to work on. I really do think I've got to work on it. And it's something that I think I like to think that I think about it, that it's important to me, just like my physical health is. And so I think that's one of the reasons I'm so interested in what Attain are trying to do. I had a FaceTime call with Attain yesterday because I wanted to find out about the company and what they were doing, and I wanted to talk to Mike. So it was great. I think I spoke to him for about an hour. It was great. It was really enjoyable. But after that, things at work, it wasn't the best day I've ever had. It wasn't the worst, but it was one of those gnarly days where stuff is knotted around. Those kind of days, and it just, everything's knotted in here. And so I went out for a run after work, and I was running great. I mean, those runs are going great. And all I was thinking about was making this video and thinking about what Attain were trying to do. And all of that stuff was just going on. And then bit by bit, kilometer after kilometer, all those knots unpicked, unfurled. And yeah, it was super. I love what Attain are trying to do. I love the fact that the message and the identity are front and center. So in 2023, you can expect me to be wearing a lot more from Attain. Chapeau to all of them. I hope you enjoyed the video and found it interesting. If you did, it would be great if you'd hit the like button. As always, there'll be lots of stuff down in the description below, and I'll happily answer any questions you put into the comments. There'll be a big blue subscribe button popping up there, and some great videos there. Thanks for watching. Until the next video, just keep running along.